All right, welcome to another episode of This Stays Between Us. We're going to talk about some just pop culture stuff, what's going on in the unimportant news section. But that's fun to know and fun to talk about.
Yeah. Did you see that the new Snow White movie came out?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any interest in going to watch it?
Oh, no.
No. This is so funny because, like, people are going hard for, I don't even know how to say her last name. Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot, yeah.
Anyway, in her interviews, she pronounces the T so, like, funny. I can't do it. Gadot or something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. She's, like, Israeli, right? I don't know how they would pronounce it.
I don't know either. Yeah, I think so. I don't know much about her. I don't think I've ever seen a movie of hers. Maybe ever?
Superwoman?
I never watched that.
Oh.
Yeah,
What else is she in?
I don't know. There was one that we started that we didn't finish that was like a spy movie or like a secret agent movie, I think. But I think we started it and we never finished it. I can't think of anything else that I've seen her in at all.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but people say she sucks. And I've seen these edits on TikTok. Have you seen them? One from the Snow White movie is bad. Like,
I've seen people talking about Gal Gadot saying she's like the hot girl in theater class that gets like a main role because she's hot, but she like does not want to be there.
Yeah. She's like the daughter of like one of the PTA moms or something. Yeah. She just gets stuff.
Which honestly, like, it's funny because with the Superwoman movie, I don't know if it's just because like the role she was playing was like hot stuff or whatever, but she was a big deal back then where like everybody loved her and thought she was super hot, and she was
Is Superman in the Superwoman movie? Or is that
no, afterward I think they have like a Superwoman, like a sort of
like a league, Justice League,
that's what it was. Yeah, like a reunion sort of thing where it's like Batman, Superman, and Superwoman. I think they have that. I never watched it, but I'm pretty sure they have a movie like that.
Yeah.
Another flop, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear about it, but I saw like there was a clip that was going around about how much her acting sucks, and she's saying like, Kal-El, no. But I'm going to show you because it's so bad.
That's so funny that you're hearing more about Gal Gadot. I'm hearing more about the other girl.
Rachel.
Yeah. I don't know her last name, but
Zegler, is that what it is? Or am I
maybe? I actually really liked her. Well, I liked her in the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, I did too. She was really good in that.
She was really good. But she is, poor girl, honestly, she's having kind of a hard time with the whole Snow White thing. But honestly, a little bit warranted. They kind of ruined the movie. It's such a classic, you know? And there was so much that they could have done, which maybe falls more on, like, the director and producers of the show. But, like, Snow White is just a classic. And
yeah,
there was no reason to do what they did to the movie. Where, like, the dwarfs, they had CGI'd, but then they had somebody, like, a little person actually acting in the movie, where it was like, why couldn't you have had the dwarfs, like, why couldn't you have casted the dwarfs, like, with real people, you know?
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to employ a lot of people.
100%. Anyway, it was just, like, these, like, weird, like, things in the movie. The whole movie itself was just disappointing.
Yeah, I've seen, like, bits and pieces of it, but it does look pretty bad. Like, the hair and the outfit, it just, I don't know, it doesn't look like a full, like, Disney production at all. It looks like it looks worse than the costumes from, like, Disneyland or Disney World. Like, you would think they would, I don't know, it looks like a Halloween costume, I guess. And there's the number of Gal Gadot doing, like, the song or whatever, and it's so bad. Like, she looks like a little, like, theater kid. Like, it doesn't, And she's not like
the music's not good. Yeah.
She's not really selling you that she's like this queen or whatever. She's just like I don't know. And
the hair was
it looks
a choice.
So bad. Yeah, it's Lord.
And again, it's
Farquaad.
disappointing because like we all grew up with Snow White, you know, like it's a good story. There was a lot of potential for it to be something that like a comfort movie sort of thing, you know, but flop.
The kiss while she's sleeping, little questionable. I could maybe see them changing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not the social climate for that right now, but like
true. But like
you have to change it that much.
But at least in Snow White's case, like she knew the guy, right? She meets the prince before. Yeah. Sleeping Beauty is a whole other thing.
There's a lot of movies where they get kissed when they're sleeping.
Like non-consensual
like at least there's no
kissing.
Tongue, but still a little sketch.
Yeah, but then I did like I am kind of with that whole opinion of like why there's no need to change the whole narrative of a story just to fit the whatever is a hot topic today, you know?
Yeah.
Their whole thing with making it more like of a feminist movie where they don't need a man to save them. I know that they did like some interviews where they're like, yeah, we don't really like the idea of like having a man come save us because we're strong women and stuff. And
yeah,
I think that there's a time and a place for that kind of conversation, but in the context of Snow White, there's also no issue in being a woman who wants love too, you know? They're not mutually exclusive.
Everyone wants love, right? I think everyone wants companionship. I feel like that's fine. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like you could be a very strong character and still want companionship. And if anything, it like there's also a powerful message in being like your own person, but then being able to combine lives with someone else. Also like, yeah, you want to teach that to kids for sure. But also like, you're putting way too much weight on like a little silly story, you know, that's just supposed to be like hope and people are nice and all these different things. Like, that's like the role of Disney.
And then I feel like doing that whole thing also disempowers who Snow White was, because she, even though like in the end a man comes and like wakes her up or whatever, she does have this important message of standing up for herself and speaking against a powerful queen and not allowing like the man who takes her out into the woods and tries to kill her. Like she manages to escape from that and kind of like builds a life for herself. And like I feel like you can work with that and it's still in the realms of like the actual story. You can empower the woman without having to change everything, you know?
Yeah. And it's also like, and I'm not hating on the story, I'm just like, they're overcomplicating it, but also like the story is about like who's the fairest of them all. Like, yeah, it's about who's the hottest, and like
hot or not,
there's not a ton of, it's not a feminist movie. I don't think
it's exactly like, and it is just a fairy tale. And it's just a nostalgic story, right? Yeah. Because, again, we all kind of grew up on it. And
I think there's also something empowering in, I don't know, making the guy do a lot of the work.
Yeah.
So I don't have to.
Exactly.
Like, not necessarily, like, I want to make my own money, all those other things. But it's like, I ain't gonna open my own door.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a princess.
I don't, like, taking out the trash is a boy job.
In fact, we should be pushing for that. Do more of the work. Men should be picking up their weight.
I agree. It's like I carried 2 babies for 9 months. Like, I'm not lifting a finger when we're bringing home groceries.
100%. Like... and like the other thing too is like if Disney wants to take if they want to have more of like a feminist position in society or whatever, then just don't recreate the movie.
Yeah.
Don't recreate it. If you're going to change the whole thing, write something new.
The funny thing is that the whole point, like, you would think is either make money or send a powerful message. They missed the powerful message, like, train. They're losing a bunch of money on this. So, yeah, it's like, what is the reason?
Yeah.
Make new stories. Make stories that are, like, yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was very... I think it was pretty bad for their career, too. Gal Gadot and Rachel.
Yeah.
Insert last name.
Yeah. It's just sad. Yeah, I don't dislike her. I mean, I know that she's gotten some heat from, like, social media stuff. Mm-hmm. She's, like... I don't know exactly what it was, to be honest. I didn't really read into it, but I guess she posted some things online that were, like, aggressive towards one of the political parties and... towards like some individuals, and people took offense to that. And I think I do feel like people are not investing in PR teams anymore or like media training, right? Because I feel like if you have a big platform, I do feel like to a certain degree you do have a responsibility to use it wisely and try to do good things and whatnot. But you can do that without attacking people, I feel. And does that ever really change anyone's mind or, like, anyone's position? I don't think it's very productive. So I think promoting the good things and, like, things that you stand for, I'm all for that. I think that's good and you should. And, like, why not? And, like, people tend to, like, want to know your life and what you think when you're famous. And they want to know whether or not they want to support you with their dollars, depending on who you vote for or whatever, your ideas, your values. I feel like that's valid. But yeah, it sounded like she, again, I don't know, it sounded like she didn't necessarily do it that way and said some things that she had to apologize for. And I just saw some critics saying how that really hurt the movie too, of like the message that she was trying to send. She wasn't able to do it because of that. So I don't know. I think it was just like the perfect storm. The production sucked. The hiring sucked, not by the leads necessarily. I mean, maybe one of them. And then the Seven Dwarfs situation, like, I think it was just not very well executed. And I do feel bad for, like, the heat that she's getting. She's probably, from what I understand, she's getting pretty heavily bullied. Yeah. I don't agree with any of the stances she's taken. I don't agree with how, like, she has gone... how she has faced all of it, but I do feel bad for her. 100%.
Like, that would be hard to deal with.
Yeah, people, and I mean, I don't know the extent of it, but I'm sure she's getting bullied and death threats and all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's people take it way too far.
That's never justifiable. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
like, that's just, yeah. I know, I agree with that. I feel like that's, and that's hard too, because, like, that's her livelihood. Maybe she made a mistake. Maybe she didn't, how she approached things. But, like, she's still a person. She still needs to have a job. 100%.
Like, well, I mean, she can get another job. Probably not in acting, but...
Well, yeah, but, like, if that's all you have training for, like, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it does suck. And it's important to know... how to use the platform you're given. But I think what does suck, though, is that she took this stance that feels like it would have been applauded by society, in the sense of, because I feel like a lot of conversations had been going in that direction of, like, making Disney movies more empowering towards women and all that stuff. Like, that was a big thing that people were talking about. But then I also think that there was just some sort of, like, people got tired of it, you know,
yeah.
Okay, we don't have to, like, women don't have to be these super empowering, strong women all the time. Like, we can want love and we can want a family. And if one of us wants to be a stay-at-home mom, like,
Yeah.
Like, let her be, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with that.
The whole idea is, like, giving you more options, not limiting you one way or the other, or, like, increasing expectations on
exactly. So I think
things.
it got to a point where there was just a little bit of exhaustion with that narrative, and then so it was, like, at a bad time for her to say what she said, because I think that's, like, right when everybody was just like, no, we're tired of this. Like, just let women be women, and let us watch a cute fairy tale. Like, some of us like Hallmarks. There's nothing wrong
there's
with
got to
it.
be a variety of options, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just one niche or the other. I don't know. Yeah. No, I agree.
You know what is crazy? This is, like, real news stuff, though. Did you see that teacher that, like, a high school teacher that was dating one of the students?
I think dating is the wrong word.
Yeah.
But the other one is very censored.
Yeah. So it was yes. Involved unconsensually, non-consensually with a student.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
the one that had the notes app or something?
Yes, which embarrassing.
I didn't even, I'm gonna be so real, I didn't fully read it. I read the title and it was like she had a notes app that said that he cheated on her or something.
So I did read it.
Okay.
There were, like, this is so embarrassing because I have definitely done this, like, with men that...
Clarify on which part.
I am going to clarify more than you need.
Okay.
The notes part with men of age that I have dated in the past. Okay. I think we all have, like, you want to send a text or whatever, you kind of, like, plan it out on the notes app.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever.
Talk it through with ChatGPT first.
Yeah. Does this sound crazy? Yeah, so I feel like it's a common thing, but, like, within this context of, like, you're doing this for a 16-year-old. Like, it's just this young boy.
Yeah.
That's just, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. And, I mean, wrong, but
yeah.
One of the messages was kind of like, one of the notes on her notes app was her kind of writing out, I don't know if it was a message she ended up sending to him or if it was just her, like, venting or whatever, but she just, like, writes out how he did her wrong and how he keeps coming back and how, like, he's dating this other girl now, but she knows that he wants her and that kind of thing, where, again, I don't know if, like, it's something she ended up sending to him or if it was just her venting on her, like, notes app.
Yeah.
Which, again, embarrassing. You're tweaking out over a 16-year-old. It's embarrassing enough, like, for me when that would happen with boys my age.
No.
You know? Anyway.
That's so crazy. And she was the teacher. Or the kid's teacher.
So then...
It's crazy.
But that wasn't it. There was, like, 2 other notes that were, like, sent out in the media of manifesting him.
What?
You know, like, she had it written out, like, I don't remember her exact words, but paraphrasing, basically, like, we are gonna end up together. I'm gonna get over, like, I'm gonna live my life, and he's gonna start thinking about me, and he's gonna want me, and we will always be in each other's life, and he will want me. It was like, and I think the notes was called, like, manifestation. It was like her putting it out into the universe, you know, like, this is gonna happen, we're always gonna be involved with each other. And I think the irony is that it kind of happened. Like, not the way she probably wanted, but
yeah,
they will be, like, forever, like, there's always gonna be an asterisk for her, like, that she was
of the charges he pressed against her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just, like,
oh, to me it's so sad. And the comments that I've seen on the stuff, like, on TikTok and stuff, just disgust, like, it bothers me so much because it's like there's still like people who will put that on a pedestal of like a 16-year-old boy hooking up with this hot 30-year-old.
Ew.
It's like some sort of badge of honor. And these like comments kind of say that, like, oh, this boy is probably getting high fives from all his friends, like he's probably the coolest guy right now for being able to hook up with like a hot older woman, when it's like he's gonna how can therapy. You say that? He's like a little kid. She's a grown married woman. Married. That's
not the most scandalous part of all that, but still.
No, but it wild. Like it kind of adds to it, and
yeah.
Yeah, and it's grooming. You would not be saying the same thing if like the genders were reversed, right? Like if she was a man and he was a girl, like that would.
You know what's crazy though?
It's horrible.
Did you ever watch Pretty Little Liars?
Horrible.
I tried restarting that recently because when I was younger, I watched it fully, and I was Team Ezra and Arya all the way. I was like, her parents just don't understand.
I was so against it. You have no idea. I hated it.
Being together?
Yes.
I always had a better sense there on that than I did.
I had such like, from a very young age, I feel like I had such a compass of like age gaps between people. And
which is funny because I feel like in Brazil, people don't care, which is really bad. But like,
yeah, and I think that sometimes I might have been like a little bit overboard about it.
But that's better than anything on the other end of the spectrum.
I was literally with like Ezra and Arya. I was always like rooting against them every single time. And I would even try to justify it in my head. Like, okay, if he started college at like a really, really young age and then maybe he graduated, maybe he's like 20, like, and I don't even remember, like the youngest age I was able to pull up was like 21 or something. I was like, maybe he's 21. And I was like, and still it's so like he's 21 and she's 16. Like, I can't get behind it. I can't.
That is the right side of history to be on. I think it's, yeah, I mean, it's not funny. It's crazy. Because, I mean, I don't even know if I want to get into this. But I feel like in Brazil, and again, it's bad, but it wasn't uncommon for someone to be like 16 or whatever and allowed to date, and then like have a guy like come home from a mission or something, and then like them start dating. It was almost like, oh my gosh, there's this guy coming back, and it was
like a 21-year-old like,
and it's so bad. And I like didn't even think about that because it was so like common. But yeah, when I watched the show, I was like, he's hot. I don't know, like that's so fun. He's the teacher. Like,
he's in such a position of power. And
I see clips of that now, and I'm like,
it just makes
vomiting.
Me like, oh my gosh, I just question the judgment of, honestly, well, the adult. That's who I question the judgment of the most.
But, I mean, not that the show is that important, but how did Pretty Little Liars hit the TV? How was that on for like, what, 7-8 years?
I know. Like, how are...
I think, I don't know, I never finished it, but I think they end up together.
I think so. I think, like, it's always this... There's, like, a part in Pretty Little Liars where they start thinking that Ezra is There's, like, some suggestion. Yeah, like, it suggests that a little bit. And I was rooting for that so much. I was like, he's disgusting. He is Like, he is the person. And I was like, finally, they're, like, gonna make sense of him, like, this whole thing of him, his pedo behavior. But...
yeah.
But no, and then he wasn't. He's still, like, a good guy or whatever. And I hate any kind of glamorizing of that kind of thing. I just think there's like no place for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's interesting because like I always was against even dating guys my age directly. Guys younger than me was like a definite no. I don't care if it's like 30 days. I was like, ew, get away from me. You're a child.
Yes.
But I definitely was always into older guys, and that was not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Yeah. I don't blame you. I feel like as like being the younger person, it's hard to see anything wrong with it, I guess, because it's just like,
yeah,
like, what do you know?
I mean, obviously, like, when you're underage is a whole different thing, but when you're both legal, even still, like, some age gaps are like, ugh,
a little questionable. I feel like after like 25, I'm a little less judgmental of like,
yeah,
any kind of age gap. But before 25, it's like your frontal lobe is not developed. You are still like learning how to live, you know, and
who you are and
who
what
you
you
are.
want. Yeah.
And yeah,
Do you and your boyfriend have an age gap?
2 years. He's older.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. Josh is 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Does not feel like it.
What does it feel like?
But he's younger. By a few years. He's great, but sometimes I'm like
normal with. That's why we usually date older
guys. Yeah, that's funny. I like forget a lot of the times, but yeah 3 years.
Yeah. No, and there was one guy I went out with one time that was like 14 years older than me. Yeah, I was like 26, I want to say, when I went out with him. We went out on 2 dates, and I could not do it. I was like, this is way too weird. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So yeah, that was short-lived, but
yeah, I'm not even gonna get on that topic. But yeah, I mean, I only went on like one accidental date with someone that was a lot older than me. It was kind of not fully intentional, but
that sounds so bad.
I know. Yeah. I think I was 22. I don't know, 23. Anyway, it was like just really awkward. And the funny thing is that my friend was like she was like dating this guy who was quite a bit older than her too. Like the guys were friends, and I don't know exactly what the age gap was, but around there probably, like a lot of years. Anyway, but it was funny because we were at this bowling place, and there was supposed to be like a group of us, but ended up being like 4 of us, so it kind of ended up being a date. And there were these like boys on the lane next to us looking over, and they were just like horrified. And I was like, so am I.
You're like, he doesn't even have money.
I know.
What am I doing here?
I think he did, but that didn't matter. Yeah. I mean, I'll be real. I thought about it, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. No,
but yeah,
that's tough. And I mean, to each their own, you know. I feel like there are a lot of relationships that work out that are like, there's a big age gap. But again, like, if you're old enough to make that kind of decision, that like that's something you want, that there's nothing wrong with that. But when it's when you're young, and it just, when it smells like somebody's taking advantage of you like that, I just can't get behind it.
And
you know,
I feel like, and this is definitely true for every relationship, but I think it also depends on like power dynamics and things, and like if you're going to be financially dependent on something like that. I probably wouldn't be financially dependent on anybody ever, but
yeah,
just, I don't know, I think that can influence how successful the relationship can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Tough stuff.
Yeah.
On another note, though, did you see the Chapel Roan interview with?
I did.
On She's Her Daddy, or
She's Her Daddy. That's a good name. She's her own daddy.
Maybe we should use that name. Call her daddy.
Yeah, I did. I didn't watch the full interview. I saw clips that everyone was freaking out about. Do you have opinions, thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, I remember I listened to that podcast. I feel like this episode, I am like just like venting so much my frustrations with so many things. But I listened to that podcast even before I saw any sort of comment on it.
Okay.
And so I kind of had formed an opinion even before I saw what people were saying about it.
Okay.
And I remember just thinking, like, the stuff that she said, I was like, hot take. And by the end of it, I was like, Chapel Roan's music, I really like. I'll be honest, I don't listen to too much new music at all, which is a character flaw. I kind of wish I, like, kept up with new music. I have, like, my same songs I listen to all the time. Anyway,
the same way.
But the songs I have heard from her, like, they're really good. Like, I feel like she's actually famous for her talent. Like, she's very good. And I know a lot of people that are huge fans of her, you know, like, listen to her stuff, know a lot about her. I listened to this interview, and I remember just by the end of it, I was like, I'm not her biggest fan. Like, I just didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that she said, and was put off by a lot of it too.
Yeah.
But didn't think too much of it. Like, it was one of those things that I was just like, she makes good music, probably wouldn't be her friend in real life, you know? Like,
yeah, she gives off, like, try to be an influencer for a day kind of vibe. Like, she hates her life.
Yeah, no, very negative, and very like, it's cool to be negative kind of energy, you know, which I'm not here for. Like, I don't like that kind of.
And, like, I don't know how hard the music industry is in, like, whole, like, Hollywood people. I know there's a, like, really dark side to all of it, but I mean, she's talented. She's, like, living her dream, right? She has money. She has a lot of privilege, so it's kind of interesting to, like, have such a negative energy. I haven't seen too much of her either. I've listened to some of her songs. I like her songs. I don't keep up too much with, like, the new things she's coming out with. I don't know if she's come out with anything new, but I have seen, like, some stuff of hers on TikTok before, of her coming out and saying, like, stop asking me who I'm voting for and what political stance I have or whatever.
Which honestly, that kind of thing I respect, because it's like,
I do too. I mean, I think there's two sides to it, right? I think we should not be looking to celebrities or influencers or whatever to tell us who to vote for or which opinions to have. I agree with that. I don't think I don't know. She doesn't have the level of education or whatever it is to make those types of claims. But I do understand the fact where, like, people want to know what she stands for before they, like support her. Like, I feel like that's the opinion that a lot of people have. Like, if we don't have the same values or whatever, I don't want to contribute to your fame with my dollars or whatever. I can understand that. Yeah. But at the same time, like, she doesn't give conservative, so I feel like you can assume who she votes for or what her opinions are. I don't know how much we want to just dive into it, but I do think that, like, a lot of people, and again, she's very negative. No, her biggest fan. She has, like, her own takes. I have some opinions on that too, but I did think it was, like, too much that, like, a lot of, like, conservative people were coming out being like, I love motherhood. How dare you say this about me or whatever. It's like, you don't support her, right? She clearly doesn't have the same opinions you do. Let's just keep scrolling. Like, you know, I think it's one of those where, like, the people who follow her and support her and whatever, if maybe they have an issue, whatever, that's different. But, like, if you don't support her, you don't agree with her life choices, you don't whatever, like, then why does what she say, like, what she says shouldn't matter, right, to you, because you don't agree with her. Like,
and how old is she?
I have no idea.
I honestly thought she was older, but then
I thought she was young. I thought she was, like, 20, but I think she's, like, 30.
No, I think I was wrong about her being, like, I thought she was older, and then after this whole thing, I think she can't be, like, more than 18. I don't think.
I don't think that's right. I think
if she's older, I would be very surprised if she's older than us.
I have no idea.
27.
Oh.
That, to me, is very surprising. She definitely gives off an energy of being very young, and that's honestly the biggest benefit of the doubt that I gave her, is just which has been removed. No, but I thought, like, in my head I was like, she's just like a young girl, and like doesn't have like tons of exposure to life yet or whatever. I don't know. Not that, I mean, how much exposure do I have? But like, it was with her platform and her position, it was a pretty bold thing for her to be saying about motherhood. And
I didn't watch the full thing again, but it sounded like she said like parents. She didn't know any parents. It didn't sound like she specified mothers, but maybe she did. I don't know.
She did. So she was her thing was she was talking about her friends and how most of her friends have become mothers and are kind of living more of this traditional life, and she's out here like making music and Hollywood and all this stuff, and she's just like, I don't know anybody who has kids that like still has like light in their eyes, basically. Like, they're just all miserable.
I feel like that's harsh. Well, I think also, like, I guess when I saw parts of it, I was thinking, like, I wonder what the friends think about that. Just because it's, like, motherhood is hard. It is. Like, it's, like, the most beautiful, exhausting, wonderful, terrible thing you'll ever do. Like, it's all the things, right? You have good days, you have bad days. It's hard.
And to be honest, like, nothing that's rewarding doesn't come with like that part of being hard with it, you know?
100%. Like, and you're doing something new, and like I don't know, I guess
there's a whole like little human that depends on you. Like, it is hard.
And like, and it's tough because like some people will only fear monger you about everything. It's like, just wait, it gets worse, it gets worse all the time. It's exhausting because like, even when you're trying to be positive, sometimes like other people are like, ugh, about it. But then there's other people that just glorify it and say it's so easy and it's so whatever. And it's not, right? Like, I think it has two sides. And I feel like, also, I don't know her friends' situations, but like, maternity leave is not a thing, like paid maternity leave for most places. Daycare prices are insanely expensive. Most people can't afford to only live on one income. Like, it is hard outside of just the motherhood part too. It's like the finances and trying to figure all that out.
Logistically. Difficult.
Being pregnant can suck. Some people have a total easy time. I hated being pregnant. Be so real. Like, I loved having a little baby. It was fun or whatever. It's like, he was there, and little kicks, and there were like little milestones that we reached, and that was really exciting. But like, I was puking the whole time. That's tough. Like, it has good and bad sides to it. You bring the human into the world and you love it so much, or sometimes it takes a little bit to bond, but like, you do love it and you want to take care of him or her, but then like your body changes and you're in pain, and you might have like chronic pains that come from like having carried children, and like, and then they grow and they learn different things, and it's so exciting, and you're teaching them and you're seeing how they're picking up on things, but then they might like throw fits because they don't want to eat, and it's hard to feed them, and it's like they might need a nap and they don't want it to go down and they're freaking out. Like, it is beautiful. It's the best thing I've done, but it's the hardest thing I've done. And it can be both things.
Both can be true. I saw somebody talking about like that whole idea of how hard it is to be a mom in the sense of like the noise around being a mother, because there is so much of like being on extremes where people are like, you can't say it's hard without people being like, oh my gosh, you should be like, you're a horrible mom because you're saying it's hard. And then there's the other side where like you're super positive about it, and then there's people that are like, you're not being honest, like you got to be honest about motherhood or whatever, you know.
100%.
And it's and just there's like also creates so much more difficulty. And I think you're right too about, imagine being her I just can't imagine like being one of her friends and hearing that interview and just being like, that's the last time I come like vent to you about like how hard things are, you know.
They might be having a hard day, they might be having a hard like going through a tough phase, like For everyone it's different. For me, like the very beginning was harder because you're not sleeping and you're like, I was trying to figure out breastfeeding and all these different things. So like for a period, it wasn't just like a day that it was hard. It was like several days, months or whatever for a period there that like were difficult. But it doesn't mean like you hate your kid or you hate your decision. Maybe you do, and that's a whole other thing. Like, and that could definitely be a thing. But like,
that's very like small. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the time, like you love your kid, you made a decision to bring him to the world, you're trying to take care of it, and like, but it's just hard sometimes, and like,
and it's so okay to be hard, you know?
Yeah,
like
and
people,
I feel like a lot of the times they'll say like, just wait, it gets worse. We should be saying, wait, it gets better. Because, like, the thing that's hard right now, that's making it difficult right now, that part is going to get easier. Sure, you're going to have other things that are going to be hard at different points of your life. But, like, my alarm. But, like, the sleeping thing. They end up sleeping through the night. Like, you're going to sleep again. You're going to feel like yourself again. Your body's going to heal. Like, after you're pregnant, like, you're not, hopefully, you're going to be sick anymore. Like, things get better, and like maybe your kid will go through a phase where like they don't want to eat and they're difficult to feed. That's going to go away and it's going to get easier. You're going to have another challenge, but like the thing that you're struggling with right now is temporary and it's always going to be. So I like that idea more of like it gets better, but I do think you should be able to have conversations, and it's a tough balance, right? But have conversations without scaring people. Like certain things, like I don't know, I guess it's just a hard balance to even get into it. But like there are certain things that happened through pregnancy, giving birth, having little kids that I didn't know about. And I like read books on it. I talked to people about it, that I wish I had been more prepared for. But then there were a lot of things that people fear-mongered me on a lot that ended up not being a problem that I spent so much time worrying about, you know? So it just, it's just kind of tough. You just kind of have to block out the noise and make the decision for yourself.
Yeah,
I think.
And it's all such an individual experience too, you know?
Yeah.
It's so hard to like, I don't know how somebody else is experiencing anything, but especially motherhood, you know, parenthood, parenting, pregnancy and all that stuff.
I agree. And I do think it's unfair. I guess I'm defensive of her friends, but I think it's unfair to go out and say stuff like that about your friends, because like as a friend I would have been upset like if I like vented to you that I'm going through a tough time or whatever, and you're kind of saying that like I've lost something maybe I can't get back or something, that like it's not gonna get better or whatever it is. And also like you're kind of implying that I hate my life, I hate my kid, like it's just not great. I do think, I don't know, I guess we can go a few different directions on this, but like I don't know. She has her opinions, I guess. She can say whatever she wants. It doesn't change my life, whatever she says. Like I do, there are tough moments, there are great moments, whatever. I think it was kind of a lot, like there were a lot of people like trying to overcompensate like in responses, because they're like, what if people don't want to have kids anymore? And it's like, anybody that wanted to have kids is still gonna have kids.
Like I would hope that one person's comment doesn't change.
And if their opinions changed on what Chapel Roan said or anyone said,
then maybe
they were never meant to be a parent. They never really wanted it.
And like I completely agree. Like if she doesn't want to have kids, like all power to her, you know.
Yeah, like you shouldn't, like if you don't want to, that's not something you should.
It's not something you have to do. Yeah. But I do think it kind of sucks when people just kind of like shit on other people's decisions, life decisions, because they don't
agree with them
or don't want it for themselves.
I'm sure she has had people do that to her, and so I doubt that feels fair. Good.
Yeah.
And it's probably not, I'm not saying it justifies it at all. I'm just saying like if you've experienced it, you would think that you would do it less, because you know that people want to do their own things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you do bring up a good point that she does come from a culture. I guess I can't say that for sure. Like I'm assuming she comes from a place that like more traditional, that people get married and have kids, and that's kind of like the thing you should do. And she probably has had like to build a narrative around it, to because she's doing life different, you know. So she probably feels, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess is what I'm saying, if she feels very defensive about the decisions she's made to the point of having to say something like that, you know.
To be fair, the people that criticize her are probably conservative.
Yeah.
So like she probably is like intentionally or unintentionally attacking a group that she feels like has attacked her or something. Like
yeah.
And let's just stop attacking each other. Let's just let people make decisions for their lives and roll with it.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Agreed.
I do think it's interesting too. I think I reposted it. I saw this girl saying something about it, and she was saying kind of what you were saying, like women just get criticized so much. Let's just leave women alone. Yeah. Which is so true. I feel like their expectations are like insane, because it's like if you work and you're mom, it's like you should stop working, you're being selfish. And then if you don't work and you're home with your kid, it's like
you don't have an identity and you don't have a life.
Like you're not financially contributing or whatever it is. And it's so hard and so confusing, and like I've chosen to essentially do both things, I guess. That's where I find fulfillment, but that's not where everyone does, like, you know. But yeah, I find it just kind of interesting, and it's also kind of crazy because I mean I grew up hearing like you're not supposed to work, like maybe get an education in case like your husband dies one day, but like your job is to stay at home and like don't go dreaming too big. And I think that's wrong. I feel like you should make decisions for yourself, and like having kids is a choice, and it's not like your only calling in life. And
exactly, but
if you do want to have them, you make the decision that you want to have them, and you understand the commitment that you're making, you absolutely should. And I've loved it. I love being a mom, and I also like working, and that's worked for me, and I've done both, and I like it. But I hear criticism all the time of like, you shouldn't, you're being selfish or whatever it is, and it's like, I don't care. I do what works for me, and you should do what works for you, and that's the end of it.
As you should. I feel like no matter what you do, you're gonna have haters. Like, you don't even need a social media account. Like, you'll have haters in real life, you know. So you just gotta do what feels right for you and what makes sense for you, and live a good life for yourself, you know, and learn how to kind of turn down the volume of the noise around you.
I agree. And I think
which is really hard to do.
It is.
I'll be like, I have a really hard time with criticism. I'll be the first to say it.
Me too.
So, but it is something that I definitely want to be better at, especially as a woman, because a lot of the time it feels like no matter what you do, you're doing something wrong.
100%. Yeah. No, I agree. I think, I don't know, maybe this is not the best approach. I don't know. But what's helped me is kind of just try to see where people are coming from. Not that justifies them being a jerk or rude or whatever, but like, I don't know, just thinking about it, like, I think a lot of people have made decisions for their lives based off of what other people wanted them to do, and so they become defensive of those decisions, and them being rude or whatever, or trying to pressure you to do something is just them trying to justify their own lives. And so it's none of my business. It's their problem.
It's none of my business. None of my business what you think of my business.
It is not. It's like, I don't want to know. And if you tell me like that's cool, I'm just gonna be like, okay, and I'm just gonna keep rolling. And at the end of the day, like, everyone is so worried about themselves that like they don't, it's gonna sound bad, they don't truly care. They don't care. Like, you live with your decisions, no one else does. Like, they might give you an opinion in the moment or for a period of time, but they're gonna forget and move on. Like, no one cares that much.
You shouldn't let somebody's side eye affect you too much.
It ain't gonna pay my bills, so I don't care.
Well, because honestly, also at the end of the day, like, they disagree with your decisions, you probably disagree with theirs too. And I feel like you should just, a lot of like, that helps me sometimes, is just remembering that, is like, if something is affecting me too much, it's like, well, I disagree with them, you know, and how they're approaching it. So, I mean, try to be as respectful as you can, right? Keep it to yourself. But, like, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, honestly, it's
just,
I don't know. The mindset now is like, it's none of my business.
Yeah.
It's not my problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, you shouldn't take advice from anyone that doesn't have the life that you want or have the things that you want. Like, yeah. I'm not taking advice or opinions from Chapel Roan or whoever about motherhood when, like, she's not a mom. Like,
yeah.
And it doesn't, like, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not going to.
If she had some crazy good tip on how to get my son to eat anything other than sandwiches, I would take it. Or if she was willing to send me a large sum of money to have an opinion in my life, I might let her. But outside of that, I don't care.
Not my business. I love it. Well, yeah, I think that summing up, I feel like this whole episode has been a lot about just like, I feel like it's mostly directed towards women, but even for men, just like be confident in what you're doing, be morally sound, you know, have some boundaries, but like be confident about the life that you want to live and choose that for yourself, be intentional about it and live it, you know, and don't listen to all the negativity and hate that will inevitably be around you, because there's, as I think it's just a part of life, like there's no running from it.
I agree.
So
and, I mean, energy is currency, right? Like by letting it consume your energy and your attention, like you're just giving, you're not taking, you're not receiving anything from this interaction. You're just like wasting energy. There's just no point.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, that got a little motivational, slightly
very
depressive.
I hope people will be making TikToks with our sound behind it. Anyway, right. This stays between us.
Bye.